Welcome back to Creepy Diaries. Today, we're diving deep into the secret depths of a place that's fueled conspiracy theories and fascinated mystery hunters around the globe. Area 51. Hidden beneath the starry Nevada desert sky, this secret military base sets the stage for our story today, Alien Secrets of Area 51. Picture yourself on a moonless night, where the boundaries between the known and the unknown start to blur. James, driven by an insatiable thirst for answers, comes face to face with the inexplicable. Dancing lights in the sky, an abduction that defies logic, and a message from distant civilizations waiting to be unveiled. But what really lies behind the walls of Area 51? And if you were in James' shoes, how far would you go to uncover the truth? Don't forget to drop your theories in the comments below. Do you believe in extraterrestrial life, and that its secrets are tucked away in Area 51? What message do you think visitors from other worlds might be trying to send us? Get ready for a journey that goes beyond our understanding. And remember, the truth might be out there, but sometimes, it's stranger and more terrifying than fiction. Make sure to subscribe to Creepy Diaries for more stories that'll give you chills. So, let's dive in. On a moonless night, under the star-studded sky of the Nevada desert, Area 51 stood as a fortress of secrets and mysteries. Surrounded by barbed wire and signs warning against any approach, this secret military base was the epicenter of stories whispered in conspiracies and fear. It was said that hidden beneath its underground facilities lay secrets that defied human understanding. Alien technologies, recovered spacecraft, and, perhaps most disturbingly, the visitors from other worlds themselves. In a small nearby town, residents shared stories of unexplainable lights dancing in the night sky and shadows moving in the darkness beyond the base's boundaries. They spoke of a man, a former Area 51 employee, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances after whispering secrets that should never have been revealed. His fate remained a silent warning to those tempted to uncover the veils covering the base. In this setting of suspicions and secrets, James, a young man fascinated by the unknown and the stars, decided to seek the truth. Armed only with his insatiable curiosity and a camera, he planned a trip to the heart of the mystery. The outskirts of Area 51. James knew the risks, but his thirst for answers was stronger than any warning. He wished to capture any proof that could shed light on the enigmas the base hid. On the night chosen for his adventure, James drove his old car through the deserted roads of the desert, where the silence was only broken by the sound of the engine and the occasional whistle of the wind. As he approached his destination, a sense of unease took over him, a mix of excitement and fear for what he might find. Reaching a point where the road gave way to a poorly defined trail, James parked his car and continued on foot, staying in the shadows, avoiding any light that could betray him. He reached an elevation that offered a partial view of the distant base, whose lights twinkled like terrestrial stars. It was then that he set up his camera, aiming it in the direction of the secret facilities, hoping to capture anything, that confirmed the stories. But what began as an excursion driven by curiosity, soon transformed into something far more sinister. Without warning, the ground beneath his feet vibrated with a subtle force, and a low hum filled the air, a sonic wave that seemed to emanate from the depths of the earth. Lights began to flash on the horizon, and a strange luminous fog formed over the base, distorting the air with its iridescence. James watched, mesmerized, as the lights in the sky moved with purpose, forming patterns that defied logic. His heart pounded in his chest, a mix of fear and fascination holding him in that moment, unable to move. It was then that he saw, emerging from the mist like a ghost, a form that defied comprehension. An object that floated, devoid of any sound that a known vehicle would make, moving with supernatural agility. James barely had time to process what he saw when an intense light, coming from the object, bathed the area where he was hidden. In an instant, everything he knew was consumed by a blinding glow, and a sensation of displacement enveloped him, as if the ground beneath his feet no longer existed. When the light dissipated, and James finally managed to open his eyes, he found himself in a place he did not recognize, an environment that pulsed with an unknown energy. The air was charged with an electric hum, and before him, dark silhouettes began to take shape. It was the beginning of a night that would change his life forever, a journey into the unknown that would test the limits of his sanity and reveal truths humanity was not prepared to face. The shadow of Area 51 stretched long and dark, engulfing James in its profound and inscrutable mystery. James now found himself in an environment whose existence defied all logic and human understanding. The walls around him pulsed with a soft light, illuminating a narrow corridor that stretched out in front of him. He could hear the echo of his own footsteps, each one resonating as if inside a vast and hollow chamber. The air was impregnated with a strange scent, a mix of ozone and something he could not identify, but which caused him an uncomfortable sense of familiarity. As he advanced, silhouettes began to emerge from the darkness, humanoid figures that observed from afar, their curious gazes fixed on him. They did not seem hostile, but their presence filled James with palpable anxiety. Each step he took seemed to lead him deeper into a labyrinth of intertwining corridors, an architecture that seemed alive, subtly changing as he passed. Eventually, James arrived at a large chamber, where the corridor opened into a circular hall. At the center, a structure that resembled an altar pulsed with energy, surrounded by devices and panels that James had never seen before. And it was here that he saw a being of imposing stature, whose skin reflected the ambient light in an iridescent manner. The alien turned to him, and for a moment, James felt as if he was being analyzed, probed to the core of his soul. The being began to communicate, not through words, but through images and emotions that flowed directly into James' mind. He saw glimpses of distant civilizations, worlds he never imagined could exist, and the incomprehensible vastness of space. But, along with the wonder, came the knowledge of an imminent threat, not just to him, but to all of humanity. James realized then that he was not there by chance. He had been chosen to be a messenger, someone who would carry a crucial warning to his own people. The Earth was on the brink of a crisis that could destroy everything he knew, and the key to salvation was somehow related to the secrets hidden within Area 51. Before he could fully process the enormity of this revelation, an alarm sounded, breaking the connection between him and the being. Red lights flashed, and the sound of hurried footsteps echoed through the corridors. James instinctively knew he had to flee, that his chances of escaping this alien reality were rapidly closing. With his heart pounding uncontrollably, he ran back the way he had come, guided by a primal instinct for survival. Behind him, he could hear the sounds of pursuit, a cacophony of alien voices, mixing with the noise of unknown mechanisms being activated. James reached the point where he had been brought in, only to find the space empty. The shipper device that had transported him there was no longer there. In panic, he frantically looked for an exit, a way to return to the reality he knew. That's when he saw it, not far away, a fissure of light, an opening that hadn't been there before. Launching himself toward the light, James felt an invisible force pulling him forward, crossing the barrier between dimensions. He emerged on the other side, clumsily falling onto the cold, hard ground of Earth, under the starry sky of the Nevada desert. Gasping and disoriented, James stood up, trying to comprehend what had happened. He was back, but the world around him seemed different, as if his perception of reality had been altered. He knew he had a mission now, a message to deliver, but how could he convince anyone of the unimaginable? As he pondered his next step, a shadow loomed over him. James turned around, only to be met with the headlights of a rapidly approaching military vehicle, and the imposing silhouette of armed men emerging from the darkness. The tension in the air was palpable, a prelude to the confrontation that was about to unfold. James understood, in that moment, that his journey was far from over. He was caught in a plot much larger than he had imagined, one that endangered not just his own life, but the fate of all humanity. The development of this story was just beginning, and the end remained uncertain and filled with dangers. Surrounded by the darkness of the desert and the imminent threat, James now faced the men emerging from the shadows, their military uniforms barely visible under the dim light of the headlights. They advanced with determination, weapons drawn, encircling him with an efficiency that left little room for escape. One of them, who appeared to lead the group, stepped forward, his voice cutting through the night silence. "You know too much, son. You're going to have to come with us." The implicit threat in his words was clear, but James sensed something more in his tone, a cautious curiosity, perhaps even fear of what he might reveal. With no alternatives, James was taken back to the base, not as an intruder this time, but as someone who held crucial information. The cold, impersonal corridors of Area 51 felt even more oppressive under the harsh light of the interrogations that followed. James spoke of everything he had seen and experienced, of the message that had been entrusted to him by the being from another world, of the looming crisis that threatened not just Earth but other civilizations across the vast cosmos. The reaction of his captors was mixed, ranging from skepticism to alarm. Some saw James as a lunatic, others as a messenger of a terrifying future. But among them, there were those who believed, those who had seen enough within the secret confines of the base to know that the impossible was more than possible. As James remained confined, unexplainable events began to occur around Area 51. Mysterious lights were spotted in the night sky more frequently, and electronic equipment malfunctioned without explanation. It seemed that the message James carried had triggered a series of events that even the base's advanced technology could not contain or explain. Over time, it became clear that James could not be kept silent. The story of his abduction and the warnings he had brought with him began to leak, spreading like wildfire through social media and the press. The world was listening, and the reactions were as varied as the population of the Earth. Some demanded full disclosure of the Area 51 files, others formed vigilance groups, hoping to catch a glimpse of the celestial visitors on their own. Area 51, once a bastion of secrets, was now at the center of a global debate about the existence of extraterrestrial life and what it meant for humanity. But despite the demands for transparency, the base remained enigmatic, a labyrinth of more questions than answers. James, for his part, was released under conditions that remained obscure, as if his very existence had become part of the myth surrounding the base. He returned to his life, but the man who came back was not the same as the one who had set out that night to unravel the mysteries of Area 51. He carried with him the burden of knowledge, the awareness that somewhere out there, in the vast universe, forces were moving, unnoticed by most, but no less real. The mystery of Area 51 and the truth about alien presence on Earth remain, echoing in the void between the stars. Questions about what really happens within the confines of the base, who the visitors from other worlds are, and what they want from humanity remain unanswered, keeping the veil of the unknown firmly in place. And that wraps up the intriguing story of James. But do you really think his release was just that straightforward? It raises the question. Did Area 51 use some method to wipe the incident from James' memory? Could it be possible that they exerted some kind of coercion on him? I gotta admit, I don't have all the answers. I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments and hit the like if you found this story captivating. Plus, we've got 2 more fascinating videos about alien abductions in our collection. I suggest you click on one of them to keep exploring these mysteries with us that challenge our understanding of the universe. See you next time.